Hello students, my name is Dr. Jyoti Prakash and I am assistant professor in the Department of Management, School of Management Sciences, Lucknow. Now, today we will have a discussion on the very important function of HRM, that is recruitment, and it will come under procurement function. In your unit 2 you must have studied the different functions of HRM, in which the function have been categorized under two, like procurement and the operative function, the managerial function and the operative function. Managerial function like planning, organizing, directing, controlling and coordinating, and operating function there is a broad variety of function performed by a human resource management of the organization. The first function come under operative function is procurement function, and the first thing come under procurement like human resource planning, the job analysis, job design, and the next one is what recruitment. Recruitment come after job analysis, human resource planning. Job analysis means through performing or by getting involved in the process of human resource planning. Being a human resource manager, you are having an idea, or you are having a picture about the exact number of human resources and the skills that required in order to fulfill the vacancy or in order to fulfill the vacant post of your organization. And you are also having an idea, being a human resource manager, you are also having an idea about the content of that particular job that you want to give to outsiders, so that they just feel confident in applying for that particular post. So, recruitment is totally based on that particular fact. So, just start the discussion on the topic recruitment. Recruitment is a process of searching for prospective employees and stimulating or influencing them to apply for particular job in the organization, because and that definition is obviously given by one of the eminent person associated with HRM, that is Filippo, and Filippo has defined recruitment as in this way, like recruitment is a process, means before recruitment, being a human resource manager, you have performed the function of human resource planning, and you are also determine the different content or the different things associated or describing a particular job. Means now you are ready, or you are in a state to give that complete information about a job to the prospective employees, to the prospective candidates, so that they just get an idea that whether they have to apply or they are eligible for that particular vacancy or not. So, that is all about recruitment. So, recruitment is all about a process through which the potential candidate or the potential employees can be searched out, and they are being influenced or stimulated by the recruitment or by the advertisement for that for the purpose of applying, for the purpose of receiving the different applications or the pool of application from the different one, and that is a definition given by the Filippo. Recruitment is also the development and maintenance of adequate manpower resources, because suppose you are giving advertisement about the different vacancy of your organization, and there are different potential, and there are many potential candidates available in the scenario or in the market. So, by doing so, you are also ensuring that you are having a different or a pool of application through which you can search out a suitable one or a eligible one, because choosers are not beggars, we can say. So, for choosing a best one or the best one, you just have to create a pool of different applications, and how it can happen with the help of recruitment process. So, somehow recruitment is a process of developing and maintaining adequate manpower resources, and from that you can select out a best one or the required one, which somehow fulfill your the organizational requirement. And this particular definition is given by Dale S. Beach, and we can say that recruitment is a linking activity which brings together who have a job and those who search a job. Very good line. It says that it somehow works like a link or works like a bridge which brings two other entities, means the one who are having a job, means the organizations are having the job and they are just linking with the job holders or the job seeker in fact. And job seeker are who, the potential or the prospective candidates who are having the eligibility or who are having the skill set or the competency that somehow fulfill the requirement of a particular job for what they are applying for, what they are just having an interest factor. So, somehow we can say that recruitment is a linking activity which brings two other entities like the job who have a job and those who search a job. Professor R. W. Griffin said that recruitment is a process of attracting individual or the potential candidate to apply for the job that are open. Means if the organization has given an advertisement, so obviously that vacancy or that vacant positions are open to all who feel that they are having the required qualification or the requisites or the requirement of the organization. So, that is all about a process of attracting individuals to apply for the job that are open. And Robbins have defined recruitment is a process of discovering, means searching out the potential for actual and anticipated organizational vacancies. Suppose if organization is having a pool of application of potential candidates. So, suppose in coming time or in future time any need arises, so that need can be fulfilled from that unsolicited application or from the pool of application that the organization is having. So, Robbins defined recruitment in this way. According to Keith Davis, recruitment is the process of finding and attracting capable candidates for the employment, and this process begins when the recruits are sought and ends when their applications are submitted. Means recruitment process is completed when you are having, the organization is having a adequate number of applications and adequate number of information about the potential candidates from where he or the organization can find a suitable one or competent one for fulfilling the requirement of the organization. So, these are some of the important definition given by the different experts or different eminent speakers of the human resource related to human resource field. So, the next question come into the mind that what is the need of recruitment. So, obviously recruitment process or the recruitment function should be performed by the organization, and the need is basically recruitment can be planned. And how recruitment can be planned means by performing the human resource planning process, you as a human resource manager just find out that the available human resources or existing manpower do not have the required skills or the competency in order to perform that the particular job, the vacant job. So, you just go for hiring individuals from outside sources. So, it is basically a planned activity. For that you just plan out the things like the number of required manpower, the skill set required, and if the individual will be selected for doing that particular job, which type of duties and responsibility they have to perform, the nature of job, the working environment, the rules and regulations, you all have to plan earlier. So, that is all about a type of recruitment. We can say recruitment is basically planned, means being a human resource manager, because the industry or the scenario and the preferences of the individual may vary from time to time. So, you have to basically plan out this particular recruitment process. The second one is anticipated. Anticipated means forecasted, and how you can forecast in by seeing the trend in terms of movement of employees, in terms of in and out. I have explained the methods of human resource planning. You just see out the trends, means in a year how many employees are coming into the organization and how many are leaving, and you just find the trend in that, and on that you just anticipate or forecast the required number of manpower, or accordingly you just perform the function of recruitment. The next one is unexpected. How recruitment can be performed? Because of unexpected factors like resignation. Obviously, an employee can resign any time due to any factors like dissatisfaction, not getting good remuneration, and not happy with the human resource practices of the organization. So, if an individual is resigning from his or her post, so that particular post becomes vacant. So, in order to fulfill, or in order to basically match up that gap that has arisen due to the designation of that particular individual, recruitment should be needed. Death of some of the employees, sometimes because that is unexpected, and it may happen any time to any individual. So, if that happen, recruitment should be performed, or recruitment is needed in order to fulfill the gap that may arise because of the death of some of your employees, accident and illness. These are basically the unexpected factors associated with the health and the well-being of your employees. So, recruitment function should be performed by the human resource manager time to time in order to perform the organizational activity in a smoother way. The next one is objectives of recruitment. Obviously, if this particular function is being performed by the human resource manager, there must be certain objective associated with that. So, what are those objectives? The first one is attract job seekers who are having, means those who are having the required qualification and the required skills and the right set of experience. So, with the help of recruitment, the organization or the human resource manager is trying to attract those potential candidates towards that particular job. And because time to time you are announcing the vacancy, or you are announcing the available post to the outsiders or to the potential one. So, somehow by doing so, you are trying to project a positive and favorable image of the company into the mind of the job seeker. And with the help of recruitment, you are basically trying to, or you are having, or you are enlarging the large number of potential candidates. From that you can select, being a human resource manager, you can select the best one. In fact, because you are having a wider choice, you are creating a wider choice for in front of the company or in front of the organization. From that, the right candidate or the potential candidate, the competent or the efficient one can be selected in order to perform that particular job for what that recruitment has been publicized to the outsiders. With the help of recruitment, the organization also determine the present and future needs of the organization in sync with its overall strategy, and personnel planning, means planning associated with human resources, give ample information to candidates so that they themselves can decide whether to apply or not. You obviously you just go through the website like Naukri.com, and you have seen you must have seen that there is a, suppose there is a vacancy of a sales manager or a sales executive in some XYZ limited company. You just click on that and you just get the complete information about that particular job, means how many posts, the educational qualification, means suppose you should have means you just get the information like you should have a MBA degree in marketing and sales, you should have a 1 year experience in the related field, you should very good at communicating English as well as regional languages, and the duties and responsibilities like what task or what work you have to perform, who will be your reporting authority. These all things will be given in that particular advertisement or in that particular recruitment. So, obviously you have seen the recruitment given by different companies on the portal like Naukri.com. If you have seen, it is good. Obviously, if you have not seen, you just type Naukri.com on Google, and whatever the next page come on your screen, you just click on a particular vacancy and you just get the complete information about that particular vacancy. So, we can say that with the help of recruitment, the organization basically gives the complete information or appropriate information to the candidate about that vacancy so that they just find themselves either that they are suitable or not. Accordingly they just apply or not, they can take the decision regarding applying for the post or not. So, these are some of the objectives of the recruitment function, and that should be basically for these purposes or for the attainment of these objectives, recruitment function is being performed by the organization or the human resource manager. These are basically the forms of recruitment. These two are the forms of recruitment, like centralized recruitment and decentralized recruitment. The name itself obviously gives the meaning about, like centralized recruitment is the recruitment process of the organization are centralized when the HR head office performs all the function of recruitment. Centralized simply means the decision making or the function will be performed by one. So, the centralized recruitment process of an organization, we can say that when it is centralized, when the decision making or the overall recruitment process or the function will be performed by the head office of that organization. Head office is what? The main branch or the top management basically are available in that offices. So, the decision making is basically the decision can be taken very quickly or promptly. So, centralized recruitment is like that, and decentralized recruitment practices operating in decentralized simply means not centralized. Decision making decision can be taken at different places or different areas, because nowadays every firm is geographically spreaded, and it is very difficult to appoint or adopt different recruitment practices by a single hand. So, for that purpose decentralized recruitment practices adopted by some of the organization, these practices basically operating in different and diverse geographical spread business areas, and each department or each office basically in different areas carry out its own recruitment process or the functions. The next one is process of recruitment, and it is the process of recruitment. Like the first step is identify the required number and the sources of supply. Means by getting involved in the process of human resource planning, being a human resource manager, you are having an idea about the available or the required number of manpower, and also you are also having an idea that from what sources and from what places you can acquire the manpower. Means there are in the next class we will have a discussion on the sources of supply or sources of recruitment. Means internal and external sources are there. Internal, if we talk about internal sources, the within the organization, like the promotion and transfers are there. These are basically the sources of supply. If the organization finds that they are having the workforce who can perform the available requirement or the vacant number of vacant position of the organization. So, it is the internal source, and if the organization finds that they do not have the adequate number of skill set in their organization, so they just go to hire outsiders, and they also know the sources of supply, and there are the different methods come under external sources, external sources of supply, like campus recruitment, like headhunters, like consultancies, like government agencies. We will have a discussion on in the next video of recruitment, in the next part of recruitment. So, the first process or the first step of process of recruitment is all about identifying the required number and the sources of supply. Means you are having a picture about the required number of positions or the vacancy or the vacant position in the organization, and also you are having an idea about the sources of supply. Means whether you are going for opting the source of internal or external. Now, you just publicize job details, because until you inform the candidates or the potential candidates how they can apply. So, for that purpose you just communicate the information about the complete information about the job or about the vacancy to the potential candidates, either internally or externally, means to your either external employees or to the external potential candidates. So, for that receiving the application, different application from the different one, you just have to publicize the job detail to different portals, and so accordingly you can ensure that you are giving, or you just are communicating, or you are just trying to encourage the potential candidate to apply for that particular job. So, as soon as you identify the required number of manpower and also the sources of supply, accordingly you just publicize the job detail or the detailed information about the job in terms of skill set, required skill set, and the duties and responsibilities that they have to perform. That information must be communicated to the job seeker or to the prospective employees of your organization. So, for that you have to communicate, you have to publicize, you have to make that information public. So, accordingly you can perform the next step, or you can perform the next function of related to human resource. The next one is encouraging prospective job seeker to apply in large numbers, means because you have given information, detailed information about the job to job seekers or to the potential candidates. So, somehow you are trying to encourage the prospective job seekers, because suppose you have publicized the detail of a job on a newspaper or on a job portal. So, if I am a MBA graduate and I am just seeking out a job related to my concerned specialization. So, by going through the newspaper or by going through the advertisement either placed on website or the newspaper, I just get an idea, because I am seeing on the newspaper that the number of posts, the educational qualification, means it has been given there that one individual should have a MBA degree with HR specialization, and I find myself suitable for that particular post, because I am also having very good in communicating or having the knowledge of English as well as Hindi, as well as the different the regional languages that the organization requires, and I am also ready to work on the terms and condition of the organization, means I am ready to perform the duties and responsibilities assigned by the organization. So, if I find myself suitable, or I find my capabilities and my skills and my educational qualification, my experience set match with the requirement of the job, obviously I will be motivated, I will be encouraged, because I want to get a job, because I am a job seeker, I do not have any job. So, because by going through the advertisement, I have been just motivated and I have been encouraged by the organization, and obviously because I do not have job, I will apply for that particular job, because I find myself suitable and that I can fulfill all the requirement of that particular job. And if the organization select me, obviously I will do miracles, and I will justify that particular selection process of the organization, and I will perform the assigned duties and responsibilities in a very effectively and efficiently manner. So, as soon as the organization publicize the job details, the organization is also ensuring that it is encouraging prospective or the potential candidates to applying for that particular post, and because you are making that information public, so you are also trying to create a pool of application by performing this particular function, so that you can select, suppose you receive only 5 application on a particular vacancy. So, how you can ensure that you can get the right candidate? So, for ensuring or for getting or for acquiring the right or the competent manpower in the organization, you should have a pool of application by conducting or by involving in the function of recruitment function. So, and also you have to evaluate recruiting efforts or the function that you have performed, means you have performed in a right way, or if you are able to create a large pool of application of potential candidates, somehow you will get an idea that your recruitment function or recruitment efforts obviously will give you a positive result or a positive outcome, and you are able to fulfill the purpose of recruitment, or because recruitment is basically what a process of searching prospective candidates and motivating them to apply for that particular post. So, somehow you are attaining the objective for what you have performed that recruitment function. So, from time to time and after completion of a particular recruitment process, you just being a human resource manager, you just evaluate the recruiting efforts that you have adopted for bringing out different application, or the bringing out the different the complete details of the potential candidates. From that you can get complete information. The next one is factors affecting recruitment. These are basically the two factors like internal and external factors. Internal factors are like recruitment policy of the organization, human resource planning strategy of the company, means if the organization finds that the internal employees are capable enough, they obviously the organization will not go outside for hiring outsider candidates. Size of the organization and number of employees, means if the organization is small in size, they do not deal in big numbers of workforce, they do not have a big they do not carry many employees with that with them. So, obviously size will determine the recruitment process. And the growth and expansion plan means if the organization is trying to grow and expanding its branches and offices to other areas or other geographical areas. So, obviously that requires or that needs some number of manpower. So, these are some of the internal factors. If we talk about external factors are like supply and demand of specific skill in the labor market. Like nowadays we are seeing that the market of MBA is being downsizing, and now MBA graduates are not getting so much of amount or salary. How? Because there are the city is, every city is basically flooded with every nook and corner of the city is flooded with management institutes, and they do not produce some good MBA graduates, and the company finds them not eligible for performing that particular job. And because of that trend, the supply or the demand of a specific skill set is basically affected. The next one is political and legal consideration such as reservation for jobs like SC and ST, because government has adopted various practices in order to uplift these backward categories of the societies. So, by adopting this particular practice, somehow an organization does not find the suitable candidates, because somehow if it may happen that some upward category or general category candidates are also capable enough, because of the political practices or the government practices, the organization does not finding the, sometimes it may happen that that organization does not find the suitable or the right candidate. And the company image perception of the job seeker of the company, like if I am a job seeker, I do not find any company that image the image of that company is not good, obviously I will not apply for any vacancy of that organization. So, somehow these are some of the factors, external factors affect the recruitment process of any company. And these are basically some of the references of some of the good books of HRM. If you want to get more information about the topic, you just go through that, and I hope you will like this particular video lecture. Thank you, students.